Thank you for joining us for the Order 66 Sons of the Order podcast. We are the Sons of the Order. I am Lainey.
Joey.
Liam.
Jeff.
James.
And Chuck.
And welcome to episode 12, The Road to Anaheim.
What's happening in Anaheim?
Celebration 7. Woo!
Well, just the largest all-Star Wars gathering in the universe. It's promoted by Disney and now Marvel. And happens in Anaheim, California, from April 16th through the 19th. Get the dates right?
Mm-hmm. 4 days of Star Wars.
All Star Wars.
Much like our store. Woohoo!
So, from what I understand, J.J. Abrams and Kathleen Kennedy are going to be kicking the whole thing off.
And they just announced that Josh Trank and Gareth Edwards, who are directing the Star Wars spin-off movies, they're going to both appear there as well.
That'll be awesome. So there'll be a lot of little side. God, I can't even think of the name of
Shows.
Little side shows.
Panels, Q&As?
Yeah, panels, Q&As going on.
Tons and tons of those.
So, not to mention an awesome sales floor.
Indeed.
We'll be on the sales floor.
Well, they all need to go to booth 1049.
Who's going to be there?
That's
And who's in 1049, James?
That's going to be us. Yeah, 1049. We will have a large section in a prime locale, and we are going to have carpet and electricity.
Come up for our carpet and
Hey, we just paid $500 for carpet and electricity today, but we're going to be in a very primo location. So look for us, and you're going to see the greatest items in the world. If you're going to be in Anaheim, that's
Greatest
where we'll
items in the galaxy.
be. In the galaxy, yes, sir.
So Order 66 Toys is going to hit the road, thanks to our partner Chuck, who is actually going to be taking the toys on the road.
We're the A-team. It's our job to deliver all of the super awesomeness to Anaheim. It's going to be me, Chuck, and Melissa, Chuck's sister.
And we a couple of months ago, Jeff and I had purchased a trailer, and we have a nice 7x12 trailer that Chuck is going to be pulling on with his Toyota truck, and it's going to be full of all our items that we're going to be selling in Anaheim.
Has anyone here done Celebration before?
I have. I went to Celebration 5.
You did?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
How old were you, like 9?
I was, I think I was 11 at the
Close
time.
enough.
Yeah.
So tell us what to expect.
I mean, I think this is going to be up the ante even more, this Celebration 7, because of Disney and because of the new movie. But Celebration 5 was primarily, it was in 2010, so it was the 30th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. And so there was a lot of stuff focusing around that, because for a lot of people, that's their favorite Star Wars movie. And George Lucas was there, which was a big deal. And that was also the time Clone Wars was really popular. And there were a lot of panels and a lot of young fans who were interested in that. And I think you're going to see a similar thing at Celebration 7 because of how big Rebels is now.
Now, I heard Lucas usually makes an appearance.
I think he appeared at Celebration 3 because that was the release of...
2 also.
He was at Celebration 2?
And 1.
Yeah. Did he go to 4?
4 and 5, I don't know. I think so.
He was at
but
5 because I was there.
Oh, okay. So I don't know about 4.
Yeah, I don't know if he was at 4, but I remember he made a surprise appearance at 6.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me to have him show up, but at the same time, his whole role with Star Wars has taken a back seat at this point. So
Yeah.
I would call it 50-50.
He still like retains a lot of like the rights though. Like he has some sort of like creative control, doesn't he?
I remember when the Disney buyout was first announced, they gave him, I think the title was like creative consultant.
Well, they're not
But-
using his.
Yeah.
They're not using his drafts for the movie.
Yeah,
anymore.
honestly, they sound kind of like a, hey, he'll still be involved somehow,
Yeah.
some way.
So is he perhaps a little pissed, or
I don't know about that. I think my understanding was he was at the point in his life where he was ready to kind of release control of it, and he did do an interview where he did say that more or less that the ideas, that the drafts that he had come up with, that they had more or less thrown those out.
Yeah.
So maybe he was a little bit upset about that, but at the same time, I think he kind of gets it.
I don't know if this is just me, but if you want to really piss me off, give me $4 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that would aggravate me to no end.
but you guys that know so much about Star Wars, and I guess this could happen to anybody who created such a legacy like this. They tend to have huge egos, and even though he's let go of this for $4 billion, I have a feeling he probably doesn't now may look back at it and say, well, I wish I had a little bit more control perhaps,
Well,
because it's his baby, even though he sold it.
I think that, the way I've looked at it, and you can really see a lot of evidence to back this up, I look at George Lucas's legacy in life as far as Star Wars goes as what I like to call the tragedy of Anakin Skywalker, which I think the first 6 films are. Because when he started, he was a young filmmaker that was very ambitious. He wanted to change the role as far as, make a movie that's not like the studios are, kind of controlling. And then he got this super big, huge fame and owned his own company and made, billions of dollars and became the very thing that he set out to fight as a young filmmaker. And now I think it's like the point when Vader throws the Emperor into the pit. It's redemption. He has given Star Wars to the world through Disney so that all these other creative people can take it over and see a vision that he could no longer see. And that's evident, the difference between episodes 4, 5, and 6 and 1, 2, and 3. And I think even though he probably would never admit it, I think that that's probably what he's done.
He sounds like the
beautiful.
most altruistic person who's gotten $4 billion. It's just like, this is what I've given you. Thank you for the $4 billion.
I will say that when you hear the $4 billion price tag, you're like, wow, that's a lot. I think he bought a lot of good graces, at least in my eyes. He basically turned around and donated just about all of that to various education stuff.
Well, he doesn't need it.
Exactly.
And he's
exactly.
doing an art museum too. In downtown Chicago.
Yes, he didn't need the money, but I don't know that it doesn't. In my mind, it didn't make up for the prequels. But at the same time, it's like he gave a bunch of money to kids.
Well, I think it's something.
I worked in education for a few years, so I never saw the money. But
Well, if you just stuck around for a couple more years, maybe.
maybe. I'm sorry, Liam. I interrupted you. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no problem. Well, I think it's.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think. A lot.
I'm waiting for that.
A lot of what he talked about when he was doing the prequels is that he wasn't comfortable giving the franchise to somebody else because he didn't know how they were going to be able to interpret it. And I think with Disney, he's now really confident because in a lot of stuff when he's talking in the prequels, he didn't really sound like he really wanted to do them because when he started off, he was he made a very art house sort of movie. He made like THX 1138 and American Graffiti. He was very close to directing Apocalypse Now, and so now I think that he's sold his company. It allows him to pursue some of these movies that he was interested in doing in the first place.
But he went through a really dark period, though, before he even made the prequels, when he
was divorced.
Well, no.
Oh, that was-
Well, that could be a catalyst.
Yeah.
I don't know. But he took the films and he changed them. He took them away from Fox and he changed them so they would be forever his. But then he was like, he goes, these are mine. These are mine. And it's like, no, the day that Star Wars released in the theaters, it became the world's. It became everyone's. And it's just like any artist or anything that's happened. Like if you create a song and you put it out there and you record it and you put it on an album and you ship 1 million copies or 5 copies or whatever, it becomes the world's at
you're
that
putting
point.
it out there.
and it belongs to everyone. It's just like James Bond or Dracula or Sherlock Holmes or anything else. It belongs to everyone, so everyone has like a say in it at that point. And I think that like he went through that very dark period where he was controlling and trying to make the holiday special go away. He was trying to make the VHS tapes go away so that the original films would never be seen again. And now he's at a different place where now he's just like, okay, I'll let somebody else do it. He didn't have to do that. He just chose to do it.
So you're saying he's mellowed out then?
I'm saying he's come full circle and he's gone for redemption at this point.
Well, does anyone else find it interesting that they hired J.J. Abrams to direct number 7, and then the next thing we know, Abrams is not going to be doing 8, and we have no reason why.
Well, that's what happens when a door falls on Harrison Ford on your watch.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's it
That's
at
a
all.
conspiracy theory.
I
But
know.
that's greatness.
But
though. I
then
love it.
now J.J. Abrams is back for number 9.
Possibly for 9.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Wait,
Supposedly
It's
back
not,
for 9.
it's not confirmed
is
yet.
8 Rogue One?
No, that's one of the Rogue One is
Solo
going to be
film.
the first of the spin-off
Yeah.
movies, not in the numbered
Yeah.
sequence.
So then he's just skipping around.
Yeah, so 2015 is Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, directed by J.J. Abrams.
Right.
2016 is Star Wars Rogue One, which is directed by Gareth Edwards. 2017 is Episode 8, directed by Ryan Johnson. 2019 is another spin-off directed by Josh Trank.
Did you notice the date that they're opening these in 2017?
Yeah, it'll be
May.
yeah.
They're back to May.
And it's going to be 40 years in one day after the original movie.
Well,
Wow.
I think ideally they would have loved to get Episode 7 out in the summer, but their schedule, it just wasn't possible.
Because
They pushed it to make it into 2015. They had to push it. They would have had to wait to 2016 to do a May release.
Yeah.
And they weren't about to do that.
Where would I know this director from?
Who?
From
Which
Episode
one?
8.
Ryan Johnson.
He did Looper. He did a movie called Brick, which
Brick
was really cool.
Brick
No,
was
I like
awesome.
Looper.
Yeah.
Which one was Looper?
It was
Looper was it
yeah.
came out about like 2 years ago. It had Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where it's like time travel.
They had
Yeah,
the
he's
gold
fighting
strap.
himself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were bought off to.
He sends himself to kill himself.
Yeah, I remember.
And I'm glad, Joey, that you mentioned Brick, because that's a really, really great movie.
Yeah, super low budget, but just the writing.
Yeah, and I think that's,
It's
that's
not a
big reason.
surprise, though, that J.J. Abrams was replaced because J.J. Abrams is kind of like a rogue
Yeah,
around Hollywood, and Disney is very corporate.
definitely.
And we have actually some inside information because we know people that work at Disney. So, I mean, it's like it's a big political game you have to play. And if you don't play that game, well, then you can get replaced real easily.
I also think, obviously, I do not know J.J. Abrams, but just my impression of him, he seems like he's one of those guys that has a billion ideas in his head and he wants to get them all out. He's got tons of TV shows that he's involved with even now. He's directed all these movies that he's got more in the pipe that he's working on. I just think he's the kind of guy that doesn't want to get tied down to any one thing for too long. And so I can see him coming back for 9, but at the same time I could kind of see him not. So
Just wants to do all the things.
Yeah, because he did 2 Star Treks, he did Mission Impossible 3, he did Super 8, and it's all these. He has a lot of different ideas, and he produces like a billion movies each year. If you go on his IMDb, it's insane.
yeah.
and we're going to be in Anaheim.
Yeah,
It just went from that to.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Celebration is very special, not just because it's all Star Wars, but I mean it's special because it's not every year like Comic-Con. It's every 2 or 3 years. It was initially kicked off to promote Episode 1, and they've just kind of been doing it every 2 or 3 years since then.
Now, why is Celebration? We'll get back to the point a little bit. Why is Celebration so important to us?
Yes.
And that's my answer would be. I remember the scene from Rockstar, and the lead singer of what was it?
Steel Dragon.
Steel Dragon. What's it? Mark Wahlberg, right?
yeah.
And his managers takes him by the collar and he says, "We haven't lost a man yet." And he goes, "This is your coronation." And this is our coronation. I mean, this is our coming out party. This is when everyone gets to see Order 66 toys in their glory for the world.
So talk a little bit about
Totally
not just anybody can show up and open up a booth at the All Star Wars show. How does that work?
This was interesting. Actually, this year we got we've had a couple real wonderful things happen. First of all, our personal family, myself and Josh, our family of friends, collectors, and business associates has expanded. So we brought on Chuck as a partner. We brought on James as a partner. Our family expanded with Joey Barr and with Liam and with Cupcake over there.
Well, it's just what's happened is that we got the invite. Like you said, we didn't. You can't just show up.
Well,
it was all kind of routed through the comic book. That was like your in initially, right?
Well, we got approached. Yeah. For some reason, we got approached by Marvel Comics to put this one-page ad out and to be in every Star Wars comic book for the year of 2015, which was phenomenal. I thought it was maybe 12 issues. Well, it ended up being 49 issues and included the Episode 7 preview book.
And the adaptation.
And the adaptation from the movie. And that was phenomenal.
I remember when that happened.
Yeah, it was a great day. It was a lot of fun. And putting that ad together, and it was just a wonderful thing. The next thing you know, we're getting contacted by Disney, or not by Disney, by the guys out at with Pop that are inviting us to Celebration, which is a Disney event. So we were actually chosen to be one of the dealers at this show, which is wonderful, coming from the little 600 or 700 square foot store that we had over at 208 East Virginia.
I guess not too long after we had gotten the invitation, we've been talking on several shows about the inventory, and we have been building inventory, not just obviously for our store, but also for Anaheim. You can say that it's hyperbole that he's talking about a coronation. That's so silly. Well, really, it's not. We have been doing everything in these past few months to get ready just for this moment, and it is kind of our coming out, and it's extremely important. And we're going to have the best sales booth there by far, with the most inventory, the most items, and we're just going to knock it out of the park.
Well, we have our new team from the little mom and pop or mom and son kind of toy store that we had to what's now probably 8 or 10 people, 8 or 10 people involved, and a daily thing where we're putting new items up on our website, which is, what's the web address, Lenny?
Order66toys.net.
With Chuck and Laney, just killing it.
And it's fabulous, so you got to check it out, folks. It is amazing.
Yeah, so by the time you hear the podcast, that should be up. It should be populated with how many items do you think?
It's not quantity as much as it's quality. Some of the best stuff is going to be on there, and there's going to be a lot of vintage stuff, but there's going to be new stuff like growing like every day. So our website is going to be outstanding.
Awesome sauce.
I've never understood. Now I'm understand. Everything is really to be successful, whether you're working in the field of education or working in business or whatever, is the team effort. And I've been really watching the team, I guess, perform. Very, very. Everyone has their roles, and these past 3 or 4 months, it's been a journey, and I've been saying let's get to April. Now we're almost there, and all the work and all the effort that everyone's put in, whether it's the people putting together the website, doing the physical work, or some of us who have just been trying to finagle and work this game the system almost, trying to find credit and get the money together to purchase items. It has been a long journey, but it's been a very interesting one, and I think everyone has developed their own role in this journey that we've been taking.
I remember the exact day, like when you got the call from Marvel, it was first an email and then a call. But this was back when I was just a friend of the order, and I just came by. It was my second time here. I walk in and you're like, we just got a call from Marvel. I was like, whatever, get out of here.
No big deal.
It's like
It's the worst impression I've ever heard.
Really? Lady?
Who was that supposed to be?
No idea.
my boyfriend calls it like my retarded turtle impression. But
Wow.
It's
Man.
2015. You
And
can't
another
say
piece of the
that.
puzzle.
Wow. This is why she's 45 and not married.
but it was just like so unbelievable to me. Like I had just gotten off work and I came in. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to stop by. And that was exactly like when it clicked in my head. I was like, man, I like need to get on this. Like you had offered me the job like 2 or 3 weeks before that at a Judas Priest concert. And then like at that moment I was like, I cannot.
You know
I was like,
you're
I
in
need
if I
to
take
be.
you to a Priest concert.
I was like,
That's
I
what
need
she
to
had.
be.
When she heard Marvel was in, that's when it happened. Oh, they're in? Okay, I'll do it then.
Right. I was like, man,
Rob.
I like need to be around for this. And, I started working here and, it was just kind of like, just a counter job. It's like, oh, hey, hi, how are you doing? Hi.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Thank you. Come again, But really, one day you like got frustrated with like the website that you were working on. I was like, look,
Oh, after 3 years?
there was like 10 items on there.
It was like, Spalding.
I was like, oh, Jeffrey, let me take over. And it's like, I don't know, from then on, like it's just gotten better and better every day, and it's just unbelievable. I can't even, like, when we get to Anaheim, I'm just going to be jumping with joy. Like, you will not be able to, like, yes, I'm literally going to be jumping with joy. Just wait and see.
Floating on a cloud.
Yeah. Y'all are going to get so annoyed, I promise.
I'm just ready to make a lot of sales.
And to Mike and Stephanie, go ahead, Lainey. Thank you for the cake balls.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you for the cake balls.
Wow. There's
the
a plug.
Easter, the Easter
More
cake balls that we
please.
got
They
were
very
absolutely
good. They
delicious.
were delicious.
We will plug them.
I'm still
The next
digesting
episode, we'll
That's very good.
we'll plug Stephanie's new business.
We should do something. We should probably have an organization that's like Friends of the Order.
Friends
Don't
of
you
the
think?
Friends?
Yeah, Friends of the Order.
Friends of the Or photo, as I like to call it.
Oh, photo.
Yeah, you didn't think I forgot about that, did
Friends of
you?
the cake ball.
That's why I mentioned Friends. I was a friend of the Order earlier.
Who
Remember
worked
when
at
I said
Waffle House.
that? Yeah, I was a friend. I was like your
You got
waffle
our breakfast
connection.
right.
I'm the only one who gets your breakfast right.
We're the only one, yes.
I think George Martin wants to ask a question.
No, I just was wondering, you've been working on the store here for a while, and you mentioned, the email comes through from Marvel, followed by the phone call. That was pretty much out of the blue, more or less, wasn't it? What was going through your head when you first saw the email pop up? Like, Marvel
was-
He cried.
What?
Well, it was
cried.
interesting because
Did.
we have some good friends here, just on the other side of the
Railroad tracks.
kind of on the other side of the tracks. But day 6, and that's Adam Pagano's business. And Adam was basically, he's still the president of the business, but in charge of what the Star Wars toy looks like.
packaging and design.
in its packaging and design. And one day, Adam walks in here with a couple of his friends. That's just a block or two across the courtyard from where the store is. And a couple guys, and they walked through, and they said, "Oh wow, we love this place." And wow, it's great that you would dedicated a whole store to Star Wars and your love of Star Wars. And the guys bought a couple things, and we shook hands and smiled, and just they picked up some of the business cards, and it was cool. It was a regular day where we met new friends. It was fun. Adam later told me that these guys were associated with Lucasfilms.
Very high up in Lucasfilm.
Yeah, kind of big shots. So he didn't want to tell me when they walked in, but he told me later, and the fact that they love the branding, love the business, I think that's what really helped.
And there was a time after that, it just seemed like I would show up to the store and Jeff would have another announcement. Oh, guess what I got? Guess what we heard from and then you were right, Lenny, that the tears would start coming down his cheek, because it seemed like we were always getting, for a while there, it seemed like we were getting big news almost every week.
You never saw a tear on my cheek.
Yes.
Never once.
Okay,
You
so
cried like a baby.
Maybe his eyes were red, there was always
pickle juice.
too much pickle juice. There was always some big news coming around the pike, and we're gonna make more. Hey, we're gonna make more big news in a couple of
I'm
weeks.
53 years old. I'm allowed to be sensitive.
Look, the new Rebels figures just got here.
Sabine. I love Sabine.
Not quite that, but I mean, that is big news. When you have Marvel calling you and you end up in every comic, and then you've got, you get admitted into the celebration, and then, like I remember when we were forwarding the ad, and that was a big moment. It wasn't so much, it was a big moment for Marvel to accept us and give us the ad. And let us pay for the ad. Should I say? It's not free.
We are paying
far
for
from
the ad,
free.
yes.
But and give us the opportunity to get the ad. But I remember one of the biggest moments, and I know Jeffrey and I both probably feel the same way, is when we were working on the physical ad, when we sent it out and it came back from Lucas that they approved our ad and approved our branding, and it had that little copyright on it that said Lucasfilm on it. That was a huge
Approved
moment.
by.
Because then it's like, well, then you become part of something big, and it's no longer just fan art. It's no longer just something we're doing in the store, or something that just somebody does because of their love of Star Wars. We were actually approved through the right sources to be approved by Lucas, and that was huge. That was probably the biggest moment.
And that's important. I'm so glad you said about cost. we've, you get invited, and there is, it's a big deal, and it's the ads are expensive, and going to Anaheim that's expensive, and like I've been saying, we've been building up to this moment, and it's just around the corner.
As far as like running the booth, it's a special thing to get to go there. Do they do anything as far as like, do they put any kind of expectations on you? We want it to look like this, or conducted in such and such a way? Or
there's a long list of rules and regulations that have they have to be followed to the letter.
It's actually a booklet that they give you that's probably 50 pages long.
Anything?
And,
it's called Mein Kampf.
It's just
anything worth pointing out? Anything interesting?
No, nothing outrageous. It's like any show, but
they want to protect their brands, so they want to make sure that all the vendors, all the talent, and the whole makeup of the show fits in with their entire theme.
And we are one of the chosen. So one of the chosen, meaning that we're one of the highlighted dealers. You look in the schedule, you walk around on the floor. We have one of the premier spots.
Yes,
we're on a corner.
Yes.
Again, if you plan on coming out to Celebration and enjoying the festivities, and at some point making it onto the dealer's floor,
How could you miss it?
Which how could you miss? We are Order 66 Toys. It's booth number 1049.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have something really special for y'all to come out and see.
What are some of the things, just highlights of what people can expect to see?
Laney.
Lady
Chuck.
Other than
If you like flicks.
Jeff.
I want to buy a Chuck.
No, that's Chuck's not for sale, but you'll still get to
He's an
come out.
exclusive.
I'll be signing autographs out there.
We have everything. We're going to have, from original 12 backs that have been graded to, just some modern items and.
Well, just
Flicks
kind of.
happens to be your favorite character.
Yes.
There's going to be 2 Flixes there. Yeah.
Or missing out of your collection, which it probably is.
Oh! I got an announcement. Can I say? We got another vinyl Cape Java today.
Yes, we
Yes,
did.
it came in today.
What is that, like the 7th vinyl Cape
Well, we
Jawa?
can't hang on to them. We
I
get one and
know.
we sell them, right? Just like that.
Another of the little guys come to join the party.
Yeah.
We got a few.
And
He had 800 friends that came in like the week before that too, of everybody
yeah.
else off that list, pretty much.
All of his other friends.
only minus the double telescopers, and of course Mr. Vlix. No Vlix is in there, and
We had like 3 blue snaggles.
but yeah, 4 blue snaggles
4,
and like tons of every other figure. So
I mean, we've got we have just about everything. I mean, you can find it almost anything you're looking for, and you'll be able to find it in Anaheim too.
We have what we think is a rocket firing Boba Fett. It's one of the great rarities of the Star Wars community, and it came in this random collection out of Kansas City. Just a really interesting piece. The odds are that it's not authentic. I mean, it's so far fetched that it would be, but it's such a neat piece.
well, it's only far fetched from the fact that I think it's how it came in a collection, which was a very big collection, a very well rounded collection. But the thing is like it's very dispelling to think that just one just came in, but doing some initial checking on it, I cannot find any reason why it's not authentic.
Wow.
I have not found any reason yet why it's not. It matches one of the known prototypes that's out there. It matches it perfectly. So we've got to do some more digging, but it seems like it's a fake. We think it's a fake.
Actually, I was just looking at the Celebration website and I noticed that Steve Sansweet will be there. I wonder if he could come over and take a look.
I'm sure he will.
Anyway, I will not claim to be an expert on the vintage figures, but I did do some just really cursory research on the rocket firing Boba Fett, and yeah, it doesn't have any of the telltale signs that you would find for any of the reproductions or fakes that are out there that I know of.
Right,
but
exactly.
I'm no expert, but at the same time, I look at it and it's still, I don't know, nothing screams fake to me.
You know how excited this makes me hearing you guys say this.
Like I said, I cannot find a reason yet to dispel it from being fake, other than the fact that it's kind of unbelievable that we have one here.
Exactly.
What's the other figure that we have that we can't figure out what it is?
I think.
Well, it's a. I think we did
yeah.
actually. It's an odd Mexican piece. So it's
It's always got to be Mexican.
Oh, it always has to be.
no. I mean,
No, sometimes they're Italian, sometimes they're Dutch,
how do you
sometimes they're
say
Japanese.
this? It's a Lily Letty.
Lily Letty.
Lily Letty.
Lily Letty, yes.
So we actually just today found a picture of it. It's a Nick-2?
Yes,
It's a Nick-2.
Nick-2.
It's an odd
Variation of the original figure. And it looks like it's a regular figure, but it has a little bit different sculpt on it, and a little bit different color scheme as well.
paint, and
paint's
it's
different.
and no country of origin on it.
But it does say LFL. It's an official figure. It's not a repro. And
So-
we had it looked at by somebody that knows a little bit more about
a friend
forms.
of the store that
Right.
Photo.
that's well versed.
A photo.
And then to
fellow photo.
and all those novices out there like me out there, this just adds value to the item. This is a very rare piece.
I think when it comes, you say that you're a novice, but you've probably seen more particular pieces
Well, that's more for the people
than
that
just
are.
people.
about
Yeah.
than anyone would have the opportunity.
Yeah, I guess
So
I should
you're-
rephrase. I mean, because there are people maybe that perhaps have been like me or like me that,
Absolutely.
that don't understand the
Well, they don't-
the significance of that.
At some point, you're going to have to call yourself a real dealer here. Oy vey.
Yeah, Dave's not here, man.
You're one of the 1% of population that has seen up close a rocket firing Boba Fett.
Yeah, well,
potentially.
if that's what you're saying, and again,
You're-
that is those of you who don't know, that is an amazing thing.
You're one of the 0.1 of the population.
I'm just like you know. I thought really when you mentioned that, I know we're running out of time, but when you first mentioned that,
We're great.
when we brought it back, I thought you were kidding. But when I hear Chuck and
Do you know the
uh,
backstory of the rocket firing?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
we covered it on an earlier podcast.
and but
You were
when
there.
when Chuck and George Martin, Joey, mentioned that I don't see anything that can show that it's a fake. That excites me.
Remember when I said about keeping the myth alive? There you go.
Yep.
It's like, please don't tell me you have one. Well, guess what? We've got one.
We're not saying that we have a rocket firing Boba
But we
Fett.
do. We just don't
We
know
do,
if it's
yeah.
authentic.
We don't know if it's an
But-
authentic one. Yeah, if it's the real one.
But we do have 2 authenticated Vlicks.
Yes, we do. We've talked about Vlicks a
Ladies
lot.
and gentlemen, all of the Vlickses do live in Texas. So,
Anything else we want to throw out about Celebration?
Just it's a big thing. We hope we see y'all there.
I do think this will be the biggest celebration ever.
Well, there's so many things going into. I mean, the hype machine has gone into overdrive with this. I mean, just with the new movie coming out.
Well, it's the first movie.
yeah.
I mean, it's the first celebration that is promoting the film that has the original cast.
Yeah.
So that is something that's
well, that's
unique.
very true.
I mean, it's
So
got-
that's something that's unique
Super
to
true.
Seven that none of the first 6 have.
And the new trailer as well.
the Rebels tie-in.
Absolutely.
all of
Practically
the,
the whole cast of Rebels.
Dynamite
is gonna be
drop
there.
all of the cast for Rebels is going to be
Jeff
there.
was talking to the people from Celebration Day. They called us, and all 4 days are already sold out.
Oh, Ben sold out
I mean,
for
the
months.
4-day passes have been sold out for
everything
months.
is just going to be really big.
This is the funny thing. The show was announced, of course, a year ago. The tickets went on sale almost a year ago, and they've been sold out for months and months and months
Almost a year.
prior to them even announcing who was going to be there. So
Wow.
That's a big
that's
deal.
dedication.
It's kind of funny too. We kept looking on the website, right? And there was nobody that was going to make an appearance. And then the first thing you see is what? What? Carrie Fisher, maybe?
Carrie Fisher,
It
and
was,
then,
yeah, Carrie's going to be there. This
and
will
the,
be fun.
and the Rebels,
And then
voice
the
actors.
whole Rebels cast.
Oh
now
my God,
it's
Freddie
one.
Prince Jr.
Yeah, now. Well,
I mean, Mark Hamill, Ian McDermott, what is
Jeremy Bullock,
Yeah.
Andrew Mayhew,
Daniels.
Kenny Baker,
Abrams, Kennedy.
Anthony Daniels,
Billy
Ray
Dee.
Park.
yeah, Billy Dee.
is going to show up.
Yeah.
Cool.
No Harrison Ford.
No, no Dave Prowse.
Dickie Beers.
Dickie Beer.
Oh,
Beer.
Beer. I remember when you told me his
Peter
name, and I
Mayhew.
thought you were
Peter
kidding.
Mayhew.
Ahmed Best.
No, he is not invited.
No. Liam.
I was told he's going to make a cameo appearance.
Richard Wacker.
Badly.
Alec Guinness will be there.
Dick
In
Pound.
spirit.
Liam. Come on.
In spirit, Liam.
I can't wait to hear about
No.
all of the Q&As and all of that from you, Joey. That's going to be so
Liam?
There-
exciting.
yeah. I know Mark Hamill is teaming up with somebody for a Q&A. Carrie Fisher is doing a Q&A.
Hope
Ray
she's.
Park
I
is
hope
doing
she's
a
at
Q&A.
fighting weight. Yes.
But okay, here's something kind of interesting. Ever since the original cast was announced, you haven't really seen that many photos of them. You've seen a few of them, so you haven't really gotten to see really what can we expect them to look like in this new movie. We know that we know that Hamill got in pretty good shape. He was looking pretty good in the photos we've seen him. I haven't seen that many photos of
Kingsman.
Carrie Fisher.
He looks like an elder Jedi, though.
Exactly.
He looks.
Exactly.
Mark looks
He
exactly.
looks a lot like Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He looks exactly like what you would expect.
Yeah, and if you saw him there in Kingsman, he had a small role in that movie. I mean, he was looking pretty good, I think.
I've yet to see that.
We have fans at the door.
Oh no, that's Slim's
I
dad.
know. I'm being silly.
So I'm super excited.
I am too.
Super.
I can't wait. Super.
We're gonna have to like coordinate
Oh, boy.
a schedule to where like we take turns with Joey like going to Q&As and like you work the booth and stuff. 'cause
Somebody will have to man the booth.
That'd be cool.
Joey's like, where
Okay.
they've been gone a long time.
Wait a second. Now that we have the group here, we need to take a formal vote as to whether we're having Joey join us
Oh, boy.
in Anaheim. I'll hold my vote till last.
Do we put our thumbs out like this, like they do in
No,
Gladiator?
they can't see that. They
Oh,
can't
okay.
see that.
That's right. It's radio, folks. No, it's
Well, yeah,
not radio.
I
It's
will-
podcast. but-
Podcast.
I will readily admit that my motivation for going is entirely selfish. I'm just purely wanting to go as a fan. But it's like one of those bucket list things.
No.
I mean, my question. Can
Wrong
we get him
answer.
a pass to go in? Do we have enough
Oh,
passes
sure.
up? Can we be able to?
No, he's Joey raised the bar.
Well, I mean, we got we've been feeding them peanuts for these podcasts.
Imagine if
I guess
we-
we need to do something.
Imagine
for
if we knocked off though every night, like after the celebrate, like that particular day's over, and we did a podcast.
We could
them. I
set
think we're going
this
to be
up.
tired.
No, we set this up.
Oh, I know,
in one of
no
the
doubt.
rooms.
We're gonna be tired.
What we do is we set the podcast up in one of the rooms. We either go out and eat, or before we go out and eat, we record a little 30-minute segment.
We'll have a kegger.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we'll do it like the Russ Martin show here in Dallas. We'll like, open up a bottle of something,
Pass it
You
around.
can hear, you can hear like the cork, like, yeah.
Laney, you actually have to pass the bottle. You actually have to pass it to somebody
Well-
else.
But if you hear some deep inhaling and exhaling, then you don't.
It starts.
Hey, it is California.
It's Darth
That is
Vader.
California. That's right.
I'm
Very
all,
Medicinal.
I am all for Joey going.
Yeah, sure.
And-
I am
That's great.
totes
And in this
all for
episode of Lady After Midnight,
Yeah, Joey needs to go.
I think with Joe going, it's like you guys have been working in the store for so long, and it's like you've been working so hard, and then Joey's gonna end up like running into Mark Hamill in the bathroom.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Wait a minute.
or,
Now. Wait a minute. Now, now if they start doing that little tapping with the foot, then that might be a problem.
I think I saw you in something.
I've got a lightsaber for you to sign. No, don't run away.
Can you sign my DVD of Corvette Summer?
We have derailed.
So if you guys have any questions regarding our trip to Anaheim, if you have any comments, any special requests, if you're looking for something in particular that you would like for us to take out there, you can shoot us an email at asksoto@yahoo.com. Check us out on order66toys.net.
Or you can always come by 111 South Chestnut.
That's
here in
right.
McKinney, and come see us in person.
By the water tower.
beautiful, historic downtown McKinney.
McKinney. Yes.
That's kind of a
And
coffin.
shameless plug for the other podcast. We've got our other one that we're doing, which is everything geeky that is not Star Wars related. Our Soto Pop podcast.
Soda
Where you
Pop.
Starring Laney
That one's gonna be up
SOTO
soon.
Pop.
Yeah.
and Liam, starring Liam as well.
I've been kicked off of it now.
And Chuck's there too. And Joey's there.
And the infamous Josh.
And Josh, yes.
Infamous is a good word.
He's
yes.
so famous, he's infamous.
Yes. Okay. Well,
All right,
are
guys.
you
Well,
ready to
thank you
start?
for joining us. I am Lainey.
Joey.
Liam.
Jeff.
James.
and Chuck,
And we are the Sons of the Order. Have a great night. May the Force be with you.
and also with you.
Hare Krishna.